The burning question we get the most often is, are we alone? And to find the answer to this, scientists are discovering new worlds all around our solar system. Worlds with conditions that may be suitable for life, or at least have some of the building blocks of life. But what they're also finding are worlds that are so bizarre, they make your jaw drop. Welcome to our channel. And today let's look at one such amazing exoplanet that might just leave you speechless. Located just 40 light-years away from us is the star system 55 Cancri. It is very similar to our own. There are two planets orbiting the star 55 Cancri A. One is a gas giant, more than 6 times larger than Jupiter, and another smaller rocky planet called 55 Cancri E. In this image, captured by NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, the star 55 Cancri is seen along with its two known planets, 55 Cancri A and 55 Cancri B. The small dot below the star is not a planet, but an asteroid. Interestingly, 55 Cancri A is slightly bigger and more massive than our Sun, while 55 Cancri B orbits the red dwarf 55 Cancri A. 55 Cancri E was discovered by the same team led by the French astronomer and Nobel laureate Jean-Pierre Luminet that discovered 55 Cancri A. But unlike its neighbor, little is known about the inner rocky planet because it is very close to its star and thus difficult to observe. However, in 2012, researchers used the Hubble Space Telescope to catch 55 Cancri E transiting its parent star. This allowed them to calculate its mass and diameter. Based on this, scientists concluded that 55 Cancri E is about 8 times more massive than Earth and about twice as large as our planet. Hence, it is sometimes called the super-Earth. It takes 55 Cancri E only 11 days to orbit its star. This makes it one of the fastest planets in our galaxy. And since it orbits so close to its star, it must be super hot. In fact, the planet receives radiation equivalent to 150,000 watts per square meter. To put this in perspective, if the planet had an atmosphere like Earth's, the temperature would reach 370 degrees Celsius. But it doesn't. And there's no ice on the planet either. It's not even frozen. The entire surface is covered in molten lava. So, how do scientists know that there is a big ocean of lava on this exoplanet? Because the planet is very close to its star. Its sky is filled with sparkles. Every day it rains diamonds bigger than grizzly bears. That's right. Scientists believe it rains enormous diamonds bigger than grizzly bears on this exoplanet. But don't rush to pack your bags, for you'll need more than luck to survive there. The planet's surface is extremely hot, which means anything that lands on the planet will burn up in a flash. So it's impossible to go there and collect samples to study. In this case, scientists use the transit method to determine what the planet is made of. This method involves studying how much light passes through a planet's atmosphere during a transit. By analyzing the data, astronomers can identify the chemical composition of the atmosphere. Spectroscopy helps scientists to detect certain elements and compounds on 55 Cancri E. It has been found to have sodium, magnesium, calcium, iron, and chromium. These elements usually exist in Earth's mantle. Hence, scientists inferred that the structure of 55 Cancri E is similar to that of Earth. There could be a core, a mantle, and a thin crust. But here's the thing. All these layers are made of rock, but they are so hot that they are in a liquid state. So there could be a core of iron and nickel, a silicate mantle, and finally a crust of aluminum, magnesium, and calcium. This means there could be a liquid outer layer on the planet's surface, which can conduct electricity. And the fact that it's conductive is pretty evident. If you have ever watched those videos of molten metal poured onto a table, you have seen those beautiful patterns formed by the ripples. Something similar happens on 55 Cancri E. Magnetic fields from the star 55 Cancri A penetrate the electrically conductive magma ocean on the planet. This creates electric currents in the magma, which in turn generates magnetic fields. And these are not ordinary magnetic fields. They are more than 100 times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field. Such strong magnetic fields are capable of stopping stellar winds. Stellar winds are streams of charged particles that emanate from a star. If left unchecked, these winds can blow away a planet's atmosphere over time. But the magnetic field of 55 Cancri E protects it from being stripped of its atmosphere. Also, the star 55 Cancri A is a bit unstable. It flares up every 22 days. These flares can blast charged particles at the planet. However, the planet's strong magnetic field prevents these particles from reaching the surface. Instead, the particles are trapped near the planet's poles, forming huge magnetic bubbles. Now, all of this is happening just 11 days before the planet completes an orbit around its star. Under such intense heat and pressure, strange things happen. Take diamonds, for example. They form when carbon atoms are subjected to high temperatures and pressures deep within the Earth's mantle. Then they migrate to the Earth's surface via volcanic activity. Scientists think something similar happens on 55 Cancri E. It's possible that the intense heat and pressure on the planet cause the carbon atoms in the rocks to crystallize, forming gigantic diamonds. There could also be other precious stones like rubies and sapphires. Unfortunately, though, we can't confirm this hypothesis yet. With the technology we currently have, we can only see a tiny part of the light spectrum, and diamonds sparkle only when exposed to visible light. We cannot see this light from 55 Cancri E. Maybe in the future we will be able to develop advanced technologies to observe the planet in greater detail, and then we will be able to see if it really rains diamonds on the planet. But the weirdest thing about 55 Cancri E is that it could have a huge ocean of lava and still have water. How is that possible? Come closer, because this part is super-duper interesting. You see, the planet is very close to its star, and it receives a lot of energy. But that energy has to go somewhere. There isn't any atmosphere on the planet to absorb the energy. So where does the energy go? Scientists theorize that it goes into the interior of the planet, heating the rocky mantle. And since the rocks are under immense pressure, they cannot melt. But there could be pockets of low pressure in the mantle. In these regions, the rocks could melt, forming a magma ocean. Here's where water comes in. Water has a very high heat of vaporization, meaning it needs a lot of energy to change from a liquid to a gas. So if there is any water on the planet, it will remain in liquid form even at such high temperatures. Since the planet is a bit bigger than Earth, it could have a lot of water. The water on 55 Cancri E could have come from comets or asteroids that crashed into the planet in the past. Comets and asteroids contain a lot of water, and they are common in the early stages of a solar system's formation. As the solar system matures, these icy bodies migrate away from the star. Therefore, the star system 55 Cancri is likely very young. Also, since the planet's core is hot enough to produce diamonds, the mantle should also have enough heat to keep water in liquid form. Another possibility is that water is not required at all. On 55 Cancri E, there could be other liquids that have high boiling points like sulfur or selenium. In fact, computer simulations have shown that under the extreme conditions of 55 Cancri E, sulfur can exist as a liquid. Whatever the case may be, there should be a global ocean of lava on the planet's surface. It would be about 600 meters deep and have a surface area of over 10 million square kilometers. Now, given the extreme conditions on 55 Cancri E, it is unlikely that life could evolve there. But who knows? Maybe there are some kinds of bacteria that could thrive in such conditions. 55. Cancri E could be similar to the early Earth. After all, our planet also started off as a hot ball of molten rock. The conditions on 55 Cancri E are so extreme that if life did evolve there, it would be totally alien to us. Scientists are yet to discover all the crazy things that happen on this exoplanet. Maybe there are diamond-based life forms, or maybe the creatures there feed on the energy emitted by the star. Or perhaps the magnetic bubbles at the planet's poles serve as a home to living organisms. Who knows? One thing is for sure, though, 55 Cancri E is definitely a very strange planet. Did you find this video interesting? Tell us in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome space content.